Did you know that most people who invest aren't actually investors? They're just gambling with nicer vocabulary? Here's the truth. The stock market, crypto, and even real estate are filled with archetypes, predictable personalities who make the same moves over and over again. And whether they win or lose comes down less to the perfect stock pick and more to which type of investor they actually are. Today, we're breaking down every type of investor explained, from the meme-chasing trader who thinks Dogecoin is a retirement plan to the quiet index fund monk who retires rich without ever bragging about it. By the end of this video, you'll not only know which one you are, but you'll also see the traps, the risks, and the surprising ways ordinary people actually build wealth. So let's get into it. The lottery ticket investor. He's not an investor, he's an adrenaline junkie who found the stock market and thought it was a casino with better graphics. He wakes up, grabs his phone, and immediately opens Robinhood or Binance. No breakfast, no meditation, just pure dopamine straight to the brain. He's not checking earnings reports or macroeconomic data. No, he's scrolling Reddit for the next ticker that's going to the moon. One week it's AMC, the next week it's some biotech penny stock nobody's ever heard of. His strategy? Buy fast, post memes, and pray harder than he studied in high school. And sometimes it works. Sometimes this trader screenshots his $2,000 turning into $20,000 overnight, and he parades it on Twitter like he's Warren Buffett's long-lost cousin. But here's the problem. He never cashes out. Because in his head, that $20,000 is definitely going to be $200,000. And then one red day later, he's back to square one, blaming hedge funds and market manipulation. The lottery ticket trader is fun to watch. But let's be real. Most of them don't retire early. They retire broke, with lots of stories, but not much in the bank. The index fund monk. On the opposite end of the spectrum, we have the index fund monk. This is the guy who doesn't get distracted by hype, doesn't brag, doesn't panic. His entire philosophy can be summed up in 4 words. Just buy the market. He buys the S&P 500, the NASDAQ index, maybe a few international ETFs. That's it. Month after month, paycheck after paycheck. He doesn't care if Tesla is up or down. He doesn't care if Bitcoin hit $100,000 or $1. He just quietly keeps buying the market, like a monk meditating in the mountains. At first, it looks boring. His friends laugh at him saying, "Bro, you'll never get rich like this." But the monk knows something they don't. Compounding. 20 years down the line, his boring little contributions turn into hundreds of thousands, even millions. While the lottery ticket trader is stressing about margin calls, the monk is sipping tea, knowing he never had to gamble in the first place. It's not sexy, it's not fast, but it works. Then there's the dividend dad. This guy doesn't just want wealth, he wants income. Not flashy lottery ticket gains, but cold, hard cash hitting his account every quarter. He loads up on Coca-Cola, Procter & Gamble, Johnson & Johnson, companies that have been paying dividends since before his grandfather was born. To him, the stock price going up is nice, but the real dopamine hit is the notification that $152.46 just landed in his brokerage account. Passive income. He reinvests, he compounds, and one day he's sitting back on the porch with a beer, bragging to his kids that his portfolio pays him to exist. The catch? Dividend Dad usually plays it so safe that he misses bigger opportunities. He's not catching Tesla at $20 or Bitcoin at $200. But when the dust settles and other investors panic, Dividend Dad keeps getting paid. For him, investing isn't about speed. It's about building a machine that prints money forever. Now let's talk about the real estate tycoon. This is the investor who looks at houses and doesn't see homes. He sees cash flow. He walks into a 3-bedroom, 2-bath starter house and thinks, that's $2,000 a month in rent. He leverages debt, borrows from the bank, and stacks properties like Pokemon cards. 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 10, 10 becomes an empire. And suddenly, this guy is the landlord of half the neighborhood. His tenants pay down his mortgages. His properties appreciate. And even though he complains about fixing toilets, deep down, he knows he's winning. Of course, it's not without risk. The tycoon is 1 interest rate hike away from sweating bullets. If rents drop or housing crashes, his empire can crumble fast. But in the long run, real estate has made more millionaires than almost any other asset class. He's not investing in stocks. He's investing in roofs, walls, and people who need somewhere to live. And that's a business that never goes out of style. The crypto DeGen. We can't forget the crypto DeGen. This is the spiritual cousin of the lottery ticket investor, but with even more caffeine and way less sleep. The DeGen doesn't invest in companies. He invests in tokens with names like Fartcoin, Shiba Boner, and Rugpull Inu. He spends his nights in Discord servers with other DeGens, calling each other Seer, and pretending they're early adopters of the next Bitcoin. Sometimes he wins big. He'll throw $50 into some garbage meme coin and wake up to $500,000. But just as often, he rides that coin all the way back to zero, holding the bag while the anonymous developer disappears to the Bahamas. To outsiders, he looks insane. But here's the truth. Every bull run, a few of these DeGens get insanely rich. They just don't usually keep it. For every story of a teenager turning $100 into $4 million, there are 100,000 others who lost their rent money on the next big thing. The crypto DeGen is the embodiment of high risk, high reward, and most of the time, high regret. The meme investor. Now related but different, the meme investor. This isn't about believing in assets. It's about believing in community hype. AMC, GameStop, Dogecoin. If it trends, meme investor buys. His motto? The fundamentals don't matter if the memes are strong. And sometimes, weirdly, he's right. GameStop shouldn't have hit $400, but it did. Dogecoin shouldn't have hit 70 cents, but it did. The meme investor is powered by collective belief, the raw force of internet culture. And when the crowd is behind him, he can crush Wall Street itself. But the moment the crowd moves on, he's left holding shares of Blockbuster 2.0, wondering where everyone went. Meme investing is proof that psychology moves markets just as much as math does. The gold bug. Every family has one. This guy doesn't trust banks, doesn't trust the dollar, doesn't trust the government. To him, everything is a scam except shiny yellow rocks that you can hold in your hand. He stacks coins, buys bars, and hoards them like a dragon in a cave. Every time there's news about inflation or the Fed printing money, the gold bug smirks and says, "Told you so." The truth is, gold isn't the worst bet. It's been a store of value for thousands of years. But gold bugs usually take it too far. They'll tell you stocks are fake, crypto is a Ponzi, and the only way to survive the apocalypse is with a basement full of Krugerrands. Maybe they're paranoid. Maybe they're early. Either way, the gold bug is never truly broke. He just might never be truly rich either. The options gambler. If the lottery ticket investor is reckless, the options gambler is reckless with leverage. He buys call options, puts, spreads, things most normal investors don't even understand. And he brags about it like he's cracked the financial matrix. In reality, he's just rolling dice with extra steps. One lucky trade and he's turning $500 into $50,000 in a single day. Another bad day and he's wiped out completely. His life is a roller coaster of green and red candles. The irony? Some of the richest traders in history used options carefully to hedge risk. But the gambler isn't hedging. He's just chasing the high of doubling his money in 10 minutes. The lesson? Options are tools. But in the wrong hands, they're grenades. The tech believer. This is the investor who doesn't care about diversification. He picks one company, one industry, and he rides it to the moon or straight into the dirt. He put everything into Tesla at $30, or Apple in the early 2000s, or Nvidia before AI blew up. His portfolio isn't diversified. It's basically one ticker symbol. Most people call him crazy until he's right. And when he's right, he's really right. The tech believer is living proof that concentrated bets create billionaires, not diversified ones. But for every one of them that wins big, there are 100 others who bet it all on MySpace or BlackBerry. The fire seeker. The fire seeker is obsessed with one thing: freedom. Not yachts, not private jets, not even Lambo flexes. Just the ability to never clock into a 9-to-5 again. They follow the FIRE movement. Financial independence, retire early. Their strategy? Save half their income, sometimes even more, cut expenses to the bone, and shovel everything into index funds. To their friends, it looks extreme. They don't eat out, they don't upgrade their car, they live in a modest home even if they could afford more. But while everyone else is upgrading lifestyles, the fire seeker is upgrading time. By their 30s or 40s, they've got a portfolio fat enough to spit out passive income that covers their modest lifestyle. The trade-off? They sacrifice comfort now for freedom later. It's not for everyone, but for the fire seeker. Every packed lunch and skipped Starbucks is worth it when they realize they never have to ask a boss for permission again. The shadow wealth builder. This is the person who never calls themselves an investor, but quietly becomes wealthy through owning businesses. It could be a local laundromat, a car wash, a plumbing company, or an online store. They're not obsessed with stock tickers or crypto charts. They're obsessed with cash flow. They reinvest profits, expand, buy out competitors, and build systems that make money whether they're working or not. While everyone else debates Tesla's PE ratio, the shadow wealth builder is cashing checks from 200 customers, paying their business every single month. It's less flashy, but over time, it creates wealth that often surpasses the traders, the meme investors, and even the real estate moguls. So, there you have it. From the lottery ticket trader burning through cash like it's Vegas money, to the index fund monk quietly compounding into a millionaire. From the fire seeker chasing freedom, to the shadow wealth builder stacking cash flows. The truth is, most people think they're investors, but in reality, they fall into one of these archetypes. And your results don't come from the market. They come from which one you actually are. Maybe you're chasing hype, maybe you're stacking dividends, maybe you're playing it boring with index funds. The key is knowing yourself and realizing that in the game of money, your personality often decides your portfolio. So let me ask you, which one are you? Drop it in the comments below. I want to see how many monks, lottery ticket traders, and shadow builders we've got in this community. And if you want more breakdowns of how people really build and lose money, hit subscribe, because we're going to keep exposing the real strategies, traps, and plays that decide who actually gets rich. Until next time, invest wisely, or at least invest knowingly.